like weird.
Josh.
How is it weird?
The Angels one?
It's weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Josh, where are the books at?
You didn't bring me back the book.
Those books are gay.
Guys, this isn't a podcast about books. This is a podcast called Oh, What You Think?
Starting? I'm not prepared.
We started. My name is
Ryan,
Tyler.
give me my beer. No, my beer.
We have our other podcast
In
hosts
the
here.
bag.
We have the ever so hairless Isaac Sagafis drinking out of a brown paper bag.
I like that noise.
We have Jason Smith over there,
Hey.
the testicle with the besticle.
I mean, only the besticle.
We have Gojira over there, Josh Quinn.
I will destroy Tokyo.
And we have a special guest here today, Ryan Quinn. What do you think?
Howdy. Glad to be here.
Oh, yeah, he is drunk right now. We went to the Scar Bar earlier. What do you guys think of that?
I just started drinking today. I'm fresh and I'm ready for the taking.
Isaac, when's the last time you drank?
Yes.
Yeah. Jason, when's the last time you drank?
Not soon enough.
And we don't care about Josh or Ryan because Josh has a story and I will say some stuff. This is what you think. Josh, what do you got for us?
So I have, honestly, one of the most personally disturbing stories I've heard in a very long time.
Disturbing in what way?
Disturbing, and it makes me really worried about extra-dimensional and spiritual things.
I mean, that's half the stuff we talk about, but let's listen.
So this story is coming from Missouri.
Is that the same episode as Momo?
It is not Momo. There is no Momo.
Missouri.
All right, let's hear about it, Josh.
So this story specifically surrounds the F5 tornado that went through Joplin, Missouri in 2011.
Okay, we all remember that. Jason, I know you remember that.
Yep. I think it was like May 22nd, January 11th. There's a bunch of storms like in the region. It was like one tornado in particular, a bunch of the whole like super outbreak sequence that happened.
Yep. So during this super outbreak, so the bomb, what would be considered like in the winter, like a bomb cyclone, but like a bomb cyclone of tornadoes that struck Missouri, there was what newscasters called a case of mass hysteria / mass hallucinations. So 150 people were killed in this tornado.
Wow, that's crazy.
It ended up being like over a dozen miles long, like a mile wide tear through Joplin.
So compared to the Wizard of Oz, what was the tornado like?
Like this was even worse.
Compared to the Wizard of Oz,
there was more monkeys in the Wizard of Oz.
That was a terrible movie, Jason. Don't ever say that again.
I mean, that was a good movie though, but
Ryan,
I think even like during the
was the Wizard of Oz a good movie?
I think it's one of the best movies.
It's a classic.
Wait, listen.
that's
a good beer.
That's good.
He pops some St. Bernardus. Before I start, I got to talk about what we're drinking about. What we're talking about?
Drinking about?
Josh,
What are we drinking
came
about?
back
We're drinking some Pecatonica beer. We got some Donna's Pickle beer over here. We got some St. Bernardus. We ain't gotten into the sake yet, but we're going to get in that. We got some Corbel.
Tyler, have we had any cigars today?
We had quite a few cigars with our friend Corey. I know you're not listening right now because this is coming out a month later.
Corey
But
fucking... Oh, shit. Corey sucks.
we're gonna have a separate podcast with Corey on there and Emmanuel. Hopefully, Jason's best buddy Emmanuel.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Emmanuel's a badass.
But we're drinking a lot of stuff here, Josh. We're drinking a lot of stuff, and we're talking about the Joplin tornado.
Yes. So the thing with the Joplin tornado, and I know because all of you are from the same place I'm from, except for Jason.
Canada?
Tornadoes are pretty common. Almost nobody ever gets hurt. Like everybody goes to their basement, like it's fine. And then somebody's shed or barn gets destroyed. But this was an F5 tornado. This is the worst possible category of tornado that can be registered. They're very rare. They're called once in a decade. This tornado hit Joplin in a pretty residential area comparative to like where we usually see them. Usually tornadoes happen out in the middle of nowhere just because how hills. Jason's got a question.
Well, not so much a question, but it wasn't so much like it just kind of like, went through a residential. It went through almost the main city itself.
Yeah, like it destroyed a good part of Joplin.
Yeah, they had the like newscasters doing the weather, basically doing like prayers on like air just to be like, if you were seeing this, like
Did they say it was raining sideways? Like Ollie Williams.
It's raining sideways.
It was almost worse than that. They're just like,
Oh,
if
God.
you're in the viewing
It was
area of this and
raining.
you are in Joplin, like,
It was raining
find a
upside
job
down.
because you're gonna like, even if you're in shelter, like this is the
You're
worst
screwed.
time.
You're screwed either way.
If you are in the path of this, good luck.
So, this is the worst possible scenario when it comes to tornadoes. The thing that came out of this was stories from children in the area, ranging from about 4 years old to 13 years old. And there's over a dozen accounts of what the children described as butterfly people. So the way they're described is very pale, blue, radiant, or white radiant beings with butterfly wings that they reported either standing outside of their houses, or some kids actually said that these beings turned to them and said, "Be not afraid," and then walked out and physically blocked debris from hitting their houses.
Yeah, there are multiple interviews of people, or mainly children, just like as like the roof is being ripped off, where they're like these butterfly people came through and
they
were
literally came down from the sky and stood in front of them as their houses were getting ripped away and protected them from the storm.
How many reports of this?
So they protected the people, or they literally held back?
Literally held back the tornado.
How many people?
Like most of the kids of the town, from what I heard.
That's the problem, is it's multiple dozens. Like, it's almost every kid in the area reported this story of the tornado approaching them and these butterfly people coming down and protecting them.
And they have a good description of the butterflies?
Yep, they all have the same description.
I mean, I don't know if you remember the news from back then, Isaac, but all these kids drew pictures like these same
This was
pictures
on
of the butterfly
national
people.
this was on
like
Good Morning.
America.
Yeah.
Like not Coast to Coast AM. This is Good Morning America.
Mainstream media.
These kids were drawing
And
pictures.
just tall robed figures
Say that, babe.
with large butterfly wings coming down. And some kids literally said, like, they just stood over them because their whole house got destroyed. And these butterfly beings came down and stood over them and sheltered them from all the debris going through the tornado. And these were kids that were right in the middle of the tornado.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Was it just kids?
It was.
primarily,
was-
yeah.
So the
It was
adults didn't see it?
No. So there was
So what? These butterfly people are prejudiced?
no. So that's the thing, is these
Did I do
these
good? Did I do
kids.
good?
So one of the strangest reports is a kid who talked to his parents. They were in the middle of the tornado. They were sheltering. They didn't have a basement. They had a window going outside. And there's a ring
A fire.
of these people standing outside their house. And this kid says, "Oh, look at the people, look at the people, look at the people." And the way he describes it is these people stood outside their house and literally pushed the tornado back from their house, like redirected it away from their house.
So this wasn't just like the barflies came up to your house and like, we'll stand guard there, fella.
No, this is like
They all were levitating. They were in the air.
This is probably one of the most terrifying cases of high strangeness I've ever heard.
yeah. It was a pretty widespread reported. I mean, I'm talking as a person that hasn't researched this.
I never
I've
heard of it.
stories of this. There was these random, quote unquote butterfly people, but people with wings standing outside of this house and
And
in this
so
tornado way.
the older kids that were interviewed that report this specifically say that their wings were butterfly. They were like butterfly wings, but like see-through. So the way you could describe them, one kid did actually say they're like stained glass wings.
Yeah, so like a little bit different from like what you would like your traditional angel wings or something like that, where it's like
Skateboard.
feathered ones. They're not skateboard.
And then there was one kid who was in the path of the tornado and their whole house got destroyed. And he said one of these butterfly creatures stood over them as their house got ripped out from over them and kept them on the ground.
And this isn't Alabama.
This is Missouri.
This is
Joplin.
Missouri. It's part of Mimel. Evil
It's
Mimel.
part of
It
Mimel.
could be something with evil Mimel.
So, I mean, here's the thing. There's reports of winged creatures in a lot of places in, the northern U.S., but a lot of times it's Mothman who usually signals.
This is not Mothman.
But Mothman usually doesn't intervene with anything.
But was
But
it
he
like
signals
Italian
Yeah,
aliens?
if
with
you see
hands?
Mothman, you know something bad's going to happen. But in this case, they're intervening, right?
I
That's
mean,
different. That's different, babe.
it could be different. I guess. I mean, I don't know. We'll work around the room. This might be a small
No,
episode.
it's only been 10 minutes, 11 minutes.
Well, that's all right. Ryan, have you heard the story before?
I haven't heard this one, but it reminds me of a similar story of some Christian missionaries going to like a third world country to try to do their thing. But the local people really didn't like them doing that. They're like, oh, these are outsiders. They're trying to like mess with our da-da-da. So one of the locals was like, hey, everyone's probably going to come and like kill you tonight. So like lock up and just kind of be prepared to be attacked. Like no one wants you here. And so these people were just like, all right, like, we're just going to like pray and go to bed. So they pray and go to bed. And the next day, same guy that warned them comes over and he's like, hey, like, you're really lucky that all those people were there guarding your house, your hut that you were staying in. Because the whole group showed up and then all these, we didn't realize he had all these like massive men with robes and spears, like protecting your house. And they're like, what are you talking about? So like the people came to like attack them and the missionaries just kind of like prayed and went to bed, just like hope for safety. And I think they were supposed to be like taller beings too, like 9 foot, like look like warriors with like robes and spears.
I've heard this story.
Yeah.
Is this the Philippines?
Something like that. Something where some Christian missionaries were out.
It's like Southeast Asia, right?
Yeah. Sounds familiar. But yeah, similar thing where just, some special kind of intervention of these. And you said the butterfly people had robes too?
Mm-hmm.
That's my mic cord hitting the mic.
Josh is eating a hot pizza roll right now. He'll be right back.
Okay.
Hold it. At least we ain't got no sour spray, baby.
At least we don't have sour spray yet.
Seriously.
Jason, what do you think of this story?
Well, looking into it like a little bit more, some people are talking how it could be like some hallucinations due to like mass, like gas line leakages, stuff along those lines that could just be causing some kind of, I don't know, reaction hallucination. But it does seem kind of weird how it's one, only affecting like children, and two, that there are groups of children that are seeing the exact same thing.
Isaac, why are you stupid?
So Jason thinks it could be something. Could be something. Where are you at with that? Ryan thinks it's Guardians. Jason thinks it's...
It could be something like, it seems weird because like if it was some kind of environmental factor due to all that, it would be affecting more than just kids, like some kind of like hallucination thing. And it's not like all these kids were comparing stories with each other. They were like kids telling stories, drawing pictures, and all that independent of each other before it was like out into the mass news.
Well, as I clean the corn nuts off of my laptop from Josh, Isaac, what do you think about this?
Isaac,
Those are so crunchy.
Isaac thinks it's really cool. Like, he wants to believe that this is a real thing, but is it real, Josh?
I don't know. It's one of
The fact that no adults reported it and it was all just kids, which is cool.
That's the weirdest part because it's 2011. Like none of
That's
these,
pretty.
It's right after like
We
one
were
of.
out of high school, but in Ty.
That's recent, though.
It's right after.
No, we're
one of-
old.
Oh, man.
It's right after one of the worst national disasters to hit Missouri.
Yeah, but it's Joplin.
It's during.
Joplin.
It's during.
Yeah, which means these kids haven't talked to each other, but they all reported the same
Doesn't
thing.
Joplin get hit by a tornado almost every year?
Not an F5.
Fair.
They do have a good Waffle House though.
So
They do have a good
we went
Waffle
to
House.
that.
We did.
We went
go
to the
that.
Joplin Waffle House. But Isaac, what do you think?
I think that I want the little angel fellas to come to my house and I'll make them some pancakes. And we'll
I'm
talk
going to
about
make the pancakes. Josh, what do you think of this? You researched it a lot. What do you think?
I'm going to be honest. This is one of the few cases where I have no explanation than other than saying this is the best case of high strangeness. Like, this is weird with a capital W. All of the children in the area that were saved from the tornado report these winged beings protecting them from the tornado. Whether that's a single being, like literally holding them down and sheltering them while the tornado rips their house apart, or a wall of these creatures, beings, people standing outside their house and physically pushing the tornado back. There was one kid who literally reported that there was one of them standing out and like hitting the debris out of the air as it was coming towards their house.
That's crazy. I mean, I guess I'll let you know what I think. This is I don't know. Isaac's chomping on. He's got a hot pizza roll over there. But yeah, this is one of those weird ones where it's mass hysteria in the way that a lot of people are reporting the same thing, but it's kind of weird that it was only kids reporting the same thing, drawing pictures of it. I mean, I'm sure.
Do you have pictures, Josh?
People,
if you look up the
Jason,
butterfly
pictures.
people of Joplin, you will see pictures that the kids drew.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy that all these kids kind of, had the same thought during this national disaster. I mean, probably the worst thing they'll ever live through in their life, but I don't know. It's one of those things that's high strangeness. But the one thing I do know, we're drinking hams, we're drinking pickle beer, we're drinking Pecataka beer. We got some Cottontails white cheddar cheese balls because it's close to Easter season. Jason, what are you drinking over there?
I got me a nice Donna's pickle beer.
That's some nice pickle beer. I was drinking Corbell. We were at the goddamn cigar bar earlier. Isaac, what do you have to say to Corey?
Put some pants on.
He says, put some pants on, John Hummel. Stay hard. This is what you think.
You can't say that. John Humble, stay hard.
Ryan, you can talk more.
John